In this lecture, we would understand a difference between bulb, corm, tuber, rhizome and tuberous root. To begin with, bulb. Now many of the species, they have commonly confusing terms. For example, corm is sometimes incorrectly used with tuber, tuber is incorrectly used with rhizome. So in this lecture, we would clarify the major differences so that there is no confusion further. The most important difference between the bulb, corm and tuber exists with the basal plate first of all. So basal plate is present in bulb and corm, it is not present in tuber. It is tuber, so it is the major difference that we cite here. Now, to begin with bulb, what is the characteristic of the bulb? Bulbs are compressed underground stems. So, bulb is a compressed underground stem, but it has modified flower buds and modified fleshy leaves, which are called as scales. So here the leaves are also modified, they are called as scales. So that's how we identify bulb. I give you a common example, onion. Now as soon as you understand the word onion, you understand what is bulb. So you have the underground stem, which is onion. Now it has fleshy leaves which come as the scales, and then there is the modified flower bud which is also same. This bulb can be further subdivided into two types, tunicate and non-tunicate. What is the difference? Tunicate is one which has a papery covering. Good example, I already cited onion, garlic. So they have a outer cover which is papery. However, non-tunicate do not have this papery covering. A good example in this case would be lily. So that's how we understand what is a true bulb. Now, since we understand what is a true bulb, let's move to corm. Corm again is an underground stem. It does have a basal plate. Now when I say it does have a basal plate, it is also an underground stem. How do I differentiate a corm from a bulb? In the case of corm, the primary storage is the stem itself, not the leaves. So leaves are not involved. In the corm, the next important thing is they have vertical orientation. Very important, they have a vertical orientation and the terminal bud is present on the top. You have auxiliary buds which are from the stem. So terminal bud is on the top and the auxiliary ones are from the stem. So that's again a major difference, but the key idea is in the case of corm there is no modified fleshy leaves as in the case of bulb. So in the bulbs we have onion, garlic, lily as good example. What would be the example in the case of corm? In the case of corm, gladiolus is a good example. Then we also have another example which is Curcumis cosmea. Okay, the next is tuber. What is tuber? It is again a underground stem, modified stem, but it does not have a basal plate. The key difference between tuber, corm and bulb is that tuber does not have a basal plate. Now, since it does not have a basal plate, what is a good example? We can identify potato. Potato does not have a basal plate. Onion does have a basal plate. However, potato does not have that basal plate. Similarly, we have oxalis as another example. Also, in the case of tuber and in some cases of corn, we see eyes. Now, what are eyes? Eyes are the structure which are present on the surface of the underground structure which is called as the bud, and this is seen in the case of potato. In the potato, if you leave the potato for let's say 4 days, 5 days, you would see sprouts coming out, and that's the centers or the eyes that is called as. The next example is Clademium which is another example in the case of tuber. Coming on to rhizomes. Rhizomes are interestingly again underground stems, but the key characteristic is they grow horizontally on the soil. So good example would be, in the case of rhizome, would be turmeric, ginger, we have kanna, iris, bamboo as another example. The key purpose is again storage of food, but the root, they run horizontally, and therefore the roots are either lateral or adventitious in nature in the case of rhizome. Also, rhizomes are important because they are important for the purpose of vegetative propagation. So that's how the next rhizomes would be witnessed. The next is tuberous roots. Now, tuberous roots are enlarged, they are fleshy, and the main purpose is storage. But again with tuberous roots, what is the key thing? There are no nodes or internodes which are present. So tuberous roots lacks nodes and internodes. They have bulbs either at the crown or at the stem end of the root. So either at the crown or the stem end of the root, they have the buds which are witnessed. What would be the example of tuberous roots? So good example in this case would be sweet potato. Similar to sweet potato, we have another species, cassava. Another one which would be an example would be dahlia. So dahlia, sweet potato, cassava are good examples of tuberous roots. We have rhizomes, which are turmeric and ginger. Examples of tuber would be potato and oxalis. Examples of corn would be gladiolus, and examples of bulb would be onion, garlic, lily. The key difference I summarize again. In the case of bulb, there is modified leaves which act as storage and have basal plate. Corn has an underground stem with basal plate. They have terminal bud on the top and axillary stems. Axillary develops as a stem. Tuber is again a modified stem but does not have a basal plate. It does have eyes, example potato. Rhizomes move laterally. They move horizontally, and they have lateral and adventitious roots. Turmeric and ginger are the example. Tuberous roots do not have nodes and internodes, and they have buds only either at the crown or the stem end of the root. Good examples are sweet potato, cassava and dahlia. So that's the key difference between the terms. Now, being a student of science, you should not confusingly use the word bulb for, let's say, potato, or the word tuber for sweet potato. So be very specific what kind of structure it is, and based on which we can classify those either as rhizomes, tuber, corn, bulb or rhizomes. Thank you. Stay tuned for updates.